That's right. Hello there, James Drew here. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday. You probably knew that. I'm telling you things you already knew, which should make you feel smarter. Just saying. Maybe that's why we tune into a lot of things. I don't think most of us know why we do a lot of things we do. I'm definitely one of them. I know that I tell myself this is why I'm doing this, and it's cute to watch. It's cute to watch how I do that. I would say you do it, but you don't do that. I'm the only one that does that. And yeah, State of the Union was yesterday. I didn't watch it. It just sounded like a bunch of fucktards gathered around, fucktarding each other. Look at what a fucktard you are. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. This is kind of embarrassing. I've been working on my house. I've got these mice, and I've got this elaborate plan where I'm going to feature them on the show. It involves building a pretty elaborate different zones. I think we're going to go like Big Brother, but Big Mouse, and we'll need some hamster roadways kind of in between. Some of you may not know this, but there's been one on the show the whole time, I think. Wait a minute, that's not it. It's wait a minute. Where'd it go? It should be that. Main. And then that. Yeah. It's if I go, let's see if I do this right. If I go up, I'm waiting on the program to start. Happy Wednesday, all. We're going to discuss the creative spirit today a little bit. Got some things to share with you. You know what? That program's not going to start. I guess it doesn't want to start. Yeah, it's like not responding. There's actually right here above. Right here above. I just can't get the camera to. I used to be able to move this camera. But, yeah, the pumpkin is still here. I've not killed the pumpkin yet. I should just be evil, you know? Do you guys see up here? Do you see up here? Do you see this tubing? Some of you maybe thought that was like a, spaceship tubing. This is a mouse, gangway? Is that what you call it? A mouse gangway? Is that what you call that? And I put it there as like, hey man, I got mice problems. I should do something about it. And this is kind of what I mean by the theme of today's show. I think a sane person would just go get mouse traps and just be done with it. Other people would probably get like poison or something, and then just probably never see the body again. Mice kind of, they don't really they're small, so they don't make a lot of noise. They don't make a lot of smells. You could hide a lot of mouse bodies if you wanted to. It'd be easy to do. You could hide a lot of those. Why is my thing here? Everything's all screwed. There we go. And then you could just get on with your life, I probably should do that. I probably should, but they're freaking cute. They're adorable, and they're life itself. And I wonder how powerful I am if I have to just kill things that are in my field all the time when really their presence is sort of a blessing if you wanted to look at it this way. But can you look at it this way? Do you have the budget to look at all the things that are in your life as blessings? Your shortcomings, especially. Money would be just one example. If you're short on money, this is actually probably one of the greatest forms of artistic inspiration that's ever existed, is being short on resources. And I don't know if people truly realize that. A lot of us chase dreams from of having the perfect studio, the perfect opportunity, the perfect time frame. I'm one of these. I wish I had a concrete floor. I wish I had a concrete floor that I could bang things on. I have one, but I have to go outside to get it, and it's half the year it's too cold to do much. Things freeze. A lot of things freeze that you might want in a workshop. So you end up losing a lot because you can't keep warm-blooded. I've talked about this warm-blooded nature, but the ability to have a house that has a zone in it that is always a certain temperature is a kind of warm-bloodedness that you reach in your world. All this to say that you trace what you would consider to be a elaborate plan of creativity. I'm going to build a lab. I'm going to build an underground bunker. I'm going to Tony Stark the fuck out of this or whatever it is. Bat caves, pretty fucking cool. I mean, it's true. Although not once did you see the bathrooms in the bat cave. I really want to know if there's like a bat urinal. Has anyone researched this? They're both guys. And there's Alfred. There's no chicks unless they for some reason they have to like use hermaphrodol or some kind of like to put you under. Love how Batman's got an excuse to roofie people. He's like, well, I have a very private residence, so I'm going to have to roofie you. But all that aside, it's all guys in there. So you'd think there's probably a bat urinal and a bat hangs upside down. And it writes itself. If you're a custom urinal maker, Bruce Wayne comes in and goes, I have a job for you. I need a custom urinal made. I cannot tell you the specs of this job. In order to sign this job, I'm going to need to get a non-disclosure agreement, and I'm going to have to roofie you. We have to put you in the back of my car. I'm going to put you in the trunk. I'm going to drive you to a location. You're going to wake up in that location. You're going to build me a urinal. And I'm not going to tell you what kind of urinal it is. And then you get there and then you find out he wants a bat urinal. And you're just like, this is not my genre. This is totally not outside of my genre. This is outside of my genre. And then you're thinking, but Batman yellow is very powerful color. And then you start to like go, these are my limitations. I've been limited by the roofies. You think you're getting the budget, but no, your client is very specific. He's very specific. He wants something really, really fine-tuned. Really, there's not a lot of work to do here. You build your studio. Let's see, this weekend I have a CNC. It's probably bought one too big. It's only 4x4. This is all the space I have. Don't do this. Don't think that you have room for everything. You don't. You got to pick your artistic battles. If you're somewhat savant-like, you're going to have some trouble. You're going to have some trouble because you're going to pack all these things in. And for years, you're going to carry all this different equipment, all this different artistic equipment. And you're not going to know really why you're not using it. The reason why you're not using it is because you don't have flow. It's the flow state is freaking crucial. Having different floors, working in different rooms, all of these things are challenging your flow. I didn't say they end it. I just say they challenge it. If you think about why, when you leave a room, sometimes you forget why you left. It's the same. That's the flow state. The environment around you is a holodeck you keep in the room. Oh, I need a hammer. And now floating over here is this image of a hammer. And you're saying that because the hammer is on 2 floors below. And sure, you could call me lazy, but also there's a lot of steps that go down. So you're like, okay, I need to know that in my mind, I need a hammer. And in the next 2 hours, it's an opportunity to gather things that are hammer adjacent, right? What else is down there? You understand, these are limitations that are brought about by space, time, resources, all of these things. And I don't think you'd create if you didn't. Look at Elon Musk. That dude could be creating anything. He literally could have created his own flying car by now. He didn't. He didn't. He sure as fuck didn't make a underground worm tunnel. Didn't take us to Mars. Now he's talking about going to moon instead because the Mars telling you that the moon is a distraction because Mars is where it's at. Well, it turns out that was a distraction. And now it's back to moon. And you can't accomplish anything at all because you have too much of a budget. It's tricky. This is part of what it's like to be an artist. as a writer, actually as any artist, you're going to notice that you have a finite amount of time that you can place towards your art. And then when you've set aside, you've gotten off work, you've decided that this weekend I'm going to paint or I'm going to write, you tell yourself that on Tuesday, oh, I'm going to write this weekend. You tell yourself that. You get all excited about it. Maybe some of you can just do that on the weekend. I think it depends on the art, really. And more importantly, I think it depends on how much you're squeezing the brush. I'm a brush squeezer. If you think about painting, one of the most delicate forms of art, unless you're like balancing your hand on like one of those side bridges or something, which I didn't even know you could do that until I was like 30. I was like, wait, you can fucking do that? Fuck, I would have been painting the whole time. That delicate nature is really hard to softly grab. You're going to grip the racket, the bat, whatever instrument that you have. Very few people are asking you if you really need to grip it that hard. And I get it. You only have so much time here. You only have so many opportunities. You want to leverage these times. You start to gamble. You start to lottery ticket yourself, thinking that this is my time to be creative. And it happens with writing. I may not want to actually write right now. I may not actually want to do this. So, but you don't want to tell yourself that because you don't want to embrace the limitations. There's a lack of even understanding what an artistic expression this is. But I call these harpoons. I think it's me. I don't think everyone's like this, but when you have certain things that you're supposed to do, like I need to go get a hammer, you're harpooning yourself into a kind of flow state. You require a certain matrix to stay online with no interruptions so you can remember all these things that you were trying to keep in your mind. If someone interrupts you and you're trying to focus, it can be downright frustrating sometimes. It could be really frustrating if you're the only person that actually has this quest for this kind of flow state. And then you discover that the flow state that you've been questing for, you've been gripping it too hard this entire time. You've been squeezing it like a tube. It's become, man, he's lost a lot of hair. Is that about me? Have I lost a lot of hair? Yeah, I did not know that. If that is about me, there's a limitation too. What are you supposed to look like? What do I need before I can feel creative? Well, James, you need to get some hair implants. That's what Musk did. Musk did that. Musk saw someone going, man, he's lost a hair, and said, well, I'll fucking do something about it. And he did something, and now there he is. And he's great, right? Now you love him. You probably love listening to Musk because he's got hair. You're just like, fuck yeah, man. Dude's got hair. I feel a lot better now. I feel a lot better, but you don't actually feel better. You're actually wondering, why the fuck what exactly is the requirement here? And a lot of times, if you even look at what AI is, part of the reason why people are so afraid of AI is I don't think that we truly know what art is. You're going to really rob yourself. People are going to consider that you're robbing them, People are going to consider you shoplifting if you aren't trying hard enough. That this idea, are you trying hard enough? Because I need you to try as hard as I'm trying. Because if you were struggling like I am, I fucking feel better. I feel better because of that. And this is very anti-creative. It's very anti-art. It's probably the thing that slows you down the most. It's really easy to be like, well, there are haters out there. I don't even consider that a limitation. That's just more of the pigment of paint that's available to you in the environment. It really comes down to how you're treating yourself, how you feel about yourself. I don't actually walk around the house going, man, I don't have any hair. I should really cover up the top of my head. I should really do something about that. It's not really something I remember when I was 20 and I had hair. I remember that, but I don't remember a feeling like this is the pinnacle of my life when I was 20. When I was 20, I remember going, God, I wish I could find an apartment where I could like keep things. Like how do I do that? Or more importantly, how do I fit in or find a schedule that allows me to find the most creative output all the time? And most of my focus has been on that. It really hasn't been on hair. It really hasn't been on like what can I do to hopefully allow people to judge me less visually. It's a limitation that you could say is placed on me. Well, you don't have hair, but the limitation only shows up when I'm inside certain genres. It doesn't show up when I'm writing, when I'm creating, when I'm by myself. It's just honestly doesn't really think about it. The only times I think about not having hair is when I shave my head to appease others. My head is cold and I feel like I'm losing all of my antenna. The piloerection of the hair that I do have seems to be listening in some way. And if I shave all that hair off, I lose that ability. I'm connected to my hair, but in a non-vanity kind of way. It's not really a vanity thing for me. But I'm not like, oh my God, I have to find someone who will have sex with me so I can reproduce, so I can sexually live on forever. And it doesn't matter who it is, as long as they don't make fun of me for not having hair. Like that's a kind of slavery that I would enter into epigenetically. I would be, I'd be sending my kids to hell. Like, yeah, I gave birth to you, picked her because they didn't have hair, and these are different things. I think all the time about people that have relied on their looks, and I know that as time goes on, they end up really, really falling apart. And I look at the advantage of not having hair early is sort of like, oh, that got rid of things. But see, I had half my face was paralyzed for like a year. So if I looked like an evil creature because I could not smile on half my face. I had my skin removed from my skull. This procedure, a bionic eye was placed in there, stronger, faster, better, smarter, all that stuff. And that in the healing process of this surgery, which I'm not telling you out of purpose, it stopped me from being able to even smile at people. And I would have this weird half-assed Joker smile. So I was meeting people in public all the time that were all of a sudden found me hideous. I didn't enjoy it, but it really put me in the right place. It really put me exactly where I wanted to feel more presence in my life, which is just how I feel about myself. I'm in a precarious situation because I live stream, so I have to be seen visually. I am aware of it. I'm aware that a lot of you guys are really offended because I don't have hair on the top of my head, or some of you maybe are offended because I will shave my beard. I shaved on Saturday. I felt really bad. I felt guilty for it because underneath my chin, it just was hurting so much. As soon as I shaved, then I slept like a baby, woke up the next day. It was just like, oh God, this feels amazing. It's part of the reason why I took Monday off. It's because of all the bullshit that I know that I cause so much pain to people because of I physically don't look right. And it's weird because I think I'm beautiful. I do. I tend to think about myself as how am I reflected in my world? Right now, I'm a mess. I'm a slob because my house is torn up. I can't seem to get this mice thing going. It's a lot of cold weather turning warm. I'm doing this thing with my shop right now, which I probably shouldn't have started. All these things none of them involve me being physically seen at all. They just involve me making the right movements with my hands. And during those processes, the times that you will tend to feel the most comfortable is probably going to be times when you're alone, not when you're in front of other people. If you find yourself comfortable when you are in front of other people more than you find yourself comfortable when you're alone, I think you've just achieved a hack. You've achieved a special kind of hack. And I think that hack is going to kind of force you to externalize yourself all the time. And there's nothing wrong with externalizing ourselves. We're looking for someone to get us. We're looking for someone to recognize our genius. And if our genius is because I have hair, or if our genius is because of the way I wrote, or if our genius is because of the way I handled this situation, I don't think any of us truly care what the median is. It's really coming down to, are we being seen yet? So the world organizes itself. It tells you, James, you're an ugly person that shouldn't be seen. By the way, all these comments are from guys. They're always from men. It could be that women are just more polite and that they feel the same thing. But I cannot tell. It's literally a 100% ratio that the comments that I get about my personal appearance are always from men. And when I start to talk about it, they never say anything else. They stop talking completely. The subject disappears for them. It's like they didn't even say it. And it's from men. So even the signals that you're getting from the world really aren't necessarily honest. But what is honest is how you end up feeling when you're alone. I think alone is the best way to go because you will find an abundance of aloneness pretty much anywhere. I mean, it's hard sometimes. You'll live in places that have others. But if you can maintain that aloneness, you can share that alone comfort with others. You can bring it into the public. I think in a lot of ways, that's really what my live stream is. I try and be comfortable enough in my aloneness where I can show you, hopefully, some genius that's all happened while I was alone. All of it. And I question how many people are actually even working in this realm. Right? Like, I don't know if you've even made it inside of yourself enough to recognize yourself if you don't have those kind of moments. But then if you do, no one's really giving you much guidance there because all this work is done alone. It's all solo work. How hard are you trying? I got a friend who's a writer, really talented writer. And he wrote me. I'm trying not to give it away. He wrote me, and it's just a reflection of how I feel sometimes. I sit down and I forget all of the peer pressure that's surrounding me. And I forget to filter that out to find my genius. In other words, the genius is only going to come out unless it's squeezed through the peer pressure of about 15 different troglodytes in my mind, ogres, that have been planted there to just want to make me feel bad. And there's a pranic energy attached to this. I don't know who the guy was who said that, but it really doesn't matter. But I think there's a plasma in there. It's like if you every time you call someone else stupid, you feel smart. It's a kind of math we do with each other. And lately I've been really trying to embrace my averageness. And it's kind of been when I was younger, this was a really big struggle for me. I was terrified of being average. I don't know why it terrified me. Honestly, I don't have a good excuse for that. My guess would be that I would not be accepted by my family, my peers, my whatever, if I was just average. That in order to be accepted, you had to be exceptional. And I think a lot of us carry that without necessarily noticing it. And when we are told, or when we find out by others that maybe this isn't the right skill for you, or maybe this is, or whatever, a lot of us get lost in the victory of that, sadly, because we'll find something we're really good at and we'll just naturally gravitate to that. And then we'll never really get anything else. We'll never really go anywhere else for that. Kind of reminds me of, there's certain actors in Hollywood where they're always portrayed as like the child molester. It's like I'm thinking of one guy now. I think he does a lot of Leslie Nielsen films, but it's like in every show they cast him at, it's like, oh, you look like a child molester. This guy has found a way to lean into the denigration that other people give him, and he's found a way to find genius in it. I think a lot of us do that. I think a lot of us look for whether or not someone's recognizing you. It's kind of like karaoke. The person who's good at karaoke is just as entertaining as the person who's really bad at karaoke. And you start to ask yourself, why is that? Why? What I found out is that genius is not in the quality of your work. Genius is in the quality of your anonymity in public. Your ability to be anonymous as you're doing things. I've sat down to try and write things that I think should be easy. Maybe it's a chapter in a book, and I'm like, and I even know ahead of time, this chapter needs to say here and go here, then go here, then go here. And I can't fucking get there. Maybe this happens to you. I think in a lot of ways I'm squeezing the pen too tight. I'm squeezing it too tight because I've been told that in order for me to produce something, I have to be above average. And the only way I can be above average is I have to work harder than everyone else. I have to try harder than everyone else. And you end up overproducing your work. You overproduce it. I will start to write a sentence, and I will look up, and this sentence it's the most packed train full of every single delicacy, every single appetizer you could imagine, all your favorite songs, all your favorite stickers, Velcro because Velcro's cool, anything that's shiny. I'll sprinkle it on top of that with perfume smells, with whatever else it is, and I'm oversaturating because I do not feel worthy enough to just deliver genius without trying so hard. And it never comes out that way. Look at your art right now. I guarantee you, you could cut 80% of it. And there would be something left. And that thing that's left, if you find that thing is mundane, there's going to be two reasons for that. One, it's mundane. That's kind of rare though, because I've seen people get excited over thumbtacks. Mundanity is not a disqualifier. The second is your lack of saturation in what is mundane. I think this really comes at the heart of what it means to be creative genius. How softly can you say that same thing? What is really good bread, right? It's salt, flour, and water. That's it. No, but we're just going to put a little rosemary. No. We're going to, what is this? Was smelt it with the oak. The oaken aroma of a woodchuck that is like, you let a beaver build a dam, and then you take its most prized piece of wood from that dam, and then you pound that piece of wood into a flat paste cup, and then you pour the water in there. Then you make the bread. No, it's really not. Think about how much that simplicity scares you. Think about how much having something as simple as a 3-word sentence terrifies you, because you do not feel equivalent. You do not feel worthy of expressing genius so simply like that. You practice this every day, and I don't know if you realize how hard you're gripping the wheel. Many of you drive a car very mundanely, and you could start to think about driving a car in an artistic way. Doesn't mean you have to go fast. You could go fast, but honestly, there's a way to drive that car that is just fun as fuck. It has to do probably with your posture, how you're sitting in the seat, the presence of everything there, how much you've neglected the environment around you. What is it you're getting ready to do? Is it being done in a space that is worthy of genius? This is all canvas prep. All canvas preparation. Have you prepped your canvas for this kind of genius? Mostly I prep my canvas through, have I worked hard enough? Do I feel worthy enough to where I can afford to disregard everything else in the world until this genius comes through? It's a doula. You're giving birth to this. This is how most of my good ideas come. Actually, some of my horrible ideas come this way too. But when I'm at my most creative, I do not know what's coming on this weekend. I do not know what's about to happen. I simply find myself inside a mode where I cannot resist, because there is nothing more attractive to me than to be doing this thing, even if it's sitting in your car inside the grocery store and you've decided to take a moment and stay seated because you notice you're not even sitting in a passionate way, that the way you're in your own car, the way that you're not noticing how all the colors of your car, all the textures of your car, all the smells of your car, all the details of your car, all the characteristics. There's so much art there. It's so much collage. It's all around you. It's everything at that point. When you're washing your sink, it becomes a really immersive task. And I don't think that we recognize that chores are art. So we end up losing most of the message when it comes to teaching us those things. And it's the discipline of limitation, which I think tends to put you in those mode, because you end up giving up. You realize, well, I have to make my bed, or I have to clean my room, or I have to do these dishes. And you check out for a while. And what happens when you check out? You release your grip. You stop squeezing so hard. You stop insisting this has to be how hard it is. This has to be how much I grip this. When in fact, the entire procedure is waiting for you to find a passion. And sometimes you'll end up finding that because you check out. You check out, which is sad, because you actually miss the passion that you're experiencing in that moment. And if you're watching politics, if you're watching the world crumble, if you're watching your checkbook crumble, if you're watching your work environment crumble, all these things are going to cause you to grip harder, and you're going to struggle a little bit to find those moments of Zen, because the only times that you will find them, you're in artistic space more than you admit, more than you can imagine. It's just, can you get out of your way enough to notice and really just enjoy that kind of flow? It's hard to do. I'll tell you why it's hard to do, because you have in your mind that I'm going to be creating this genius right now, because I can only write one day a week, or I can only play golf on the weekends. And that you've got it in your mode that I'm going to be in this creative passion in that mode. And there's nothing wrong with living this way. I think it's a fraud. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a fraud. I think the intuitiveness, the werewolfiness, the simpleness of you requires you to be much more dynamic. And I picture a future where that dynamic nature of how we engage the world, it's already happening now, is much more versipellis. It's much more, yeah, but this is what's happening right now. Not this is what I told you we would do a month ago because you insisted on having an appointment. It's more of like, this is what's happening right now. I got snowed in here, lost power again a couple days ago. I just started doing construction in my basement because I was like, well, it's cold as fuck. I'm miserable anyway. I might as well start doing this work. And this CNC table, I don't have room for these things. So I expand, I dig holes in the earth, I gain whatever property I can because there's just so many things I'm interested in because I've clogged myself because I've just insisted I can have all these things and I'll just pull this out and drag it here, or I'll pull this 80-pound CNC table that cuts aluminum up 2 flights of stairs and set it up. And I'm not going to do that because there's no flow there. I'm not doing this to create things. I'm doing this to have flow. This is a very advanced kind of civilization, this mindset. If you're doing something to have flow, it's a luxury. It's a luxury that requires you to abandon your survival, your schedule, your ability to produce things in a meaningful way because you're really just chasing the flow state. You really are. And I think ultimately the immediate needs are giving you the weather of the flow state, which is why it's so hard to predict those things. I think it's impossible. I think it's really difficult to do. The more you practice it, the more you'll be in flow. So I think there's ways to kind of cheat the system, but the same cheats are also just as dangerous because is there something limiting you? Because if something isn't limiting you, it's probably stifling your creativity. Probably is. I know as much as we like to talk shit about AI, the good thing about AI, I think, is that it's allowing you to really break down what and why is the purpose of you wanting to produce something. I think a lot of us want to produce something because we're just looking for validation. Genius is a God particle. All of us are genius. Only some of us get to be seen as such. An even smaller percentage of us get to be paid to have that. And I don't think that any of that is necessarily related to how much. I do not see a lot of genius from Taylor Swift. It's no offense, but I don't see a lot of genius there. That's not a lot of genius. I don't see a lot of genius from Donald Trump. I don't see a lot of genius from most of the people. I don't think it's genius for Lance Armstrong to shrink his balls like that. He probably ended up getting that because he was doping. I don't know if anyone's put that together yet. I'm still waiting for people to put that together. I don't think that's genius. There's this flow state, and it only happens when you're alone. Look, you can flow with other people, but I'm telling you, in your mind, you can be in flow state when no one else is in the room is in flow state too. It's a different gear. Right? It's very different. I'm not sure if most of the people that called themselves artists before AI are actually artists the same way all the new artists that are online because of AI didn't know that they weren't allowed to be artists. Guys, there's a technique to shading. There's a technique to vibrance. No matter what, if you're just an example, when you're drawing a cartoon, if you want to start with magenta, fine. But if you take the burn tool and you draw on the right side, you burn that magenta. Then you change the burn tool to dodge. And then on the left side, you dodge it. You've turned the magenta a less saturated magenta on the left and a deeper saturation on the right, and you've just created a 3-dimensional effect. This is not genius. It looks beautiful. It's something that we've been doing for thousands of years. It's something that every single artist copies. There are certain hues, certain tones that go with each other. Pixar will give you a palette of what is the most intrinsically soothing colors when it comes to feeling sad about the loss of a family member. Boom, here's your color palette. Here's your music palette. These things have always been formulated by those who are being paid for their genius or for someone else's genius a long time ago. Art, AI is just simply given those same, the auto-tune tricks everyone has now. Does art change? Yes. The people that thought that people will call me a genius if I can learn to auto-tune my voice, those people are going to notice I'm not an artist. They're going to notice that. Why are they going to notice that? Because they're not actually living an internal life. They're wandering around wondering, is my hair okay? Wandering around, is this going to be acceptable to other people? And you end up gripping something really tight, gripping that paintbrush really hard. And the delicacy, you start to find a lot of people notice that they're not artists because they're not willing to be delicate. I think the same thing happens with actors. I don't think that you can be an actor if you have a strong moral foundation because you're not willing to just evacuate yourself and just repeat things other people say. It makes you feel icky. Same thing for artists. I don't want to hold something delicately. I don't want to try and reduce 80%. I would rather decoupage this shit with contracts and guarantees and fresh labels and 50% brighter and 20% this and 80% this. And all consumerism is telling you really the exact opposite direction of where all the genius is coming from. But you have that. It's actually why the AI is trying to eat you, because you have that. You have what it doesn't. You have that genius. But you're being told that AI is going to make that genius. But you're being told that by someone like Elon Musk, someone who never has really just had to suffer with, well, that guy says that I don't have enough hair and I should feel bad about myself because it makes him, even he just doesn't get to jack off because I don't have hair. I don't know why. Those limitations are not going to enrich you. You're not going to feel the folly of even wanting attention. I don't want attention. I don't want to screw something up. I don't want to say something that's going to make someone hate me or look the wrong way or do whatever or judge me the wrong way or whatever. And then there's my limitation. My limitation is all those things. Will my genius come out? I don't know. I don't know if it's come out today. Normally I do a lot more prep. I put a lot more things in the show. Right now, every muscle in my body hurts. It feels so good. It feels so good. And it feels really good because ultimately I'm just working on salt, flour, and water. Do I have a space for this genius to create itself? Is there a space for this to occur? Because if it is, I will incorporate that. And if it's not, I'm not going to go out and get hair plants. I'm not going to go out and fake it. I'm not going to go out and insist it's not a limitation. We treat limitations as if they're weakness, as if they're like signs of your lack of credentials. But honestly, I don't know of any artist that's ever made it because they're not actually showing you, look at this limitation I had and look at how I overcome it. This shit's badass, man. This is where you find your own genius. And honestly, you should be your biggest fan. I know a lot of people don't say that, but you should really be finding your own genius before others do. Part of the genius is knowing I shouldn't be writing today. Part of the genius is knowing I need to not do this, or I need to go for a walk. I need to do something else. If you've been sold on the harpoon life of everything needs a schedule, you're going to hate that. You're going to fucking hate that. Because you're going to be like, I waited a whole month. I waited a whole month because my husband was going out of town. I had 3 days and I bought these paints and here it is and now it's raining. You're going to fucking hate it. And I think you're going to run back away from the artist and you're going to just say, I'd rather just survive. I'd rather just embellish things with intricacy. I could have more things here. I could put more words in. I could put more. And the entire time when your reader's reading those words and they're reading all those words, They're wondering why you aren't good enough, why them, the reader, is not good enough to have less. Why can't you convey this feeling in 3 words? Some of you may start squeezing the other way. Some of you may already be doing that. You're squeezing until you insist there's a simplicity that must come out. I went through this with my cartooning. It bothered me for a while as a cartoonist that I wasn't really felt like I was ever able to fathomably touch what exactly was funny about this thing, and I tended to fill things with intricacies. So I started to just do one panel cartoons because I wanted to see how neatly can I fit a joke? What's the smallest common denominator? And I think you can overdo this too. It's the delicate brutality. It's a brutal delicacy of perfection that you're going for. And it all starts with, how do you feel inside? How do you feel in the environment that you're in? Because there's where all your creative genius, I think, is happening there. Your setup, your canvas stretching, your approach. You don't need to know what you're going to paint. The more you think about what you're going to paint, the more you're leaving the situation, which is right now you're just stretching the canvas. There's an art in that. There's an art in that kind of preparation. You know, some people love cars and they love washing their car. Some people love yards and they love mowing their yard. I've sort of always had trouble with these because I love my car, but I'm like, I don't want to go wash it. Like, well, wait, you want to do what? Yeah, let's spend an hour and a half washing your car. And I think there's something to be said. I do. It's just different pockets, I guess. Different stuff, you know. All right. Hey, we have Doja tonight. If you guys want to discuss this more, take the last thing that you made and ask yourself, does it need all these things? Can I do it simpler? Can I do this simpler? I've tried this with my work. I wish AI would do this. I've tried to ask AI to do this, but it's stupid. Where I've been like, James, what exactly did you say? And sometimes it'll be 8 paragraphs that really just said 2 sentences. And then I noticed that the reason why I wrote 8 paragraphs is because the 2 sentences that I said, I didn't actually even believe. And I think there's so much truth here because you end up shoring up your belief with all this intricacies, parsley and labels and boxes and plates. And you just, what is the product here? You know, what is the thing that I'm making? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it's not a normal show. Like I said, I'm going to go to the hardware store. It's going to be a blast, man. I'm going to load some plywood. Going to get some trim, ceiling trim. Going to do some stuff like that. So, hope you guys doing well. Come to Doja tonight, 8 p.m. Stretch will be modding. Looking forward to that. And, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments or not. That's all right. And, guys, it's not going to be growing any hair. It's not going to happen. I'm dying on this hill, you know? It's all right.